everybody.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to our final talk of the day for us in this room, at least. So we have Jitka and Lenka, who over the last 10 years, or nearly 10 years, have been teaching English to students with learning difficulties or who are deaf. So let's hear what they've got to say today.
So, hello everyone, thank you for joining us in this session. I am Lenka and this is my colleague Jitka. And
see, we were on a very similar mindset in our separate homes without coordinating.
I know you won't believe us, but this was really not planned, yeah? This is not a plan. All right, so today we would like to tell you something about an e-learning course that we created, and we are going to focus on autonomy and classroom dynamics. Good. So Jitka and I are English teachers to deaf and hard of hearing students, and we work at the Center Teresias, which is here at Masaryk University, and it helps students with special needs study in any study program they are enrolled in. And I'm also myself a mobility coordinator for students with special needs. And I also am trying to encourage deaf students to go on exchanges and study stays. So I more or less am aware of different chances and challenges that there are for intact as well as special needs students in this internationalization activities, and I would like to tell you something about them. So definitely the chances are here for all the students to live some intercultural atmosphere somewhere else, get something to know about the life outside of their own country. But on the other hand, there are lots of challenges for the students because, and again, these challenges exist both for intact as well as for special needs students, maybe for different reasons. In the vulnerable groups, definitely are the deaf and hard of hearing students, which study at Masaryk University and any other university, because usually these students are limited in the chances to interact in foreign languages, also in the learning opportunities they can join, because they cannot join any course they just see on the list, and also they often do not have enough English knowledge to bring the necessary credits from the study stay abroad home, and they sometimes lack effective study strategies, and they basically do not know what works for them in terms of learning languages. So this is something we wanted to work on. And although you might think that there are like lots of courses opening everywhere in the university, outside of the university, we need to consider that these courses may not be accessible in terms of content and material for these students, and also they might not be relevant because these students are usually interested in different topics that the intact population. They would like to know more about the deaf culture in other countries, which is something intact students rarely think of. And in terms of mobilities, also they need to know what the study accommodation can be done for them at the foreign university. So again, this is something that intact students do not have to deal with. So we were thinking about this, and we thought that we need a suitable, accessible online course for these students where they could practice in a safe environment. And this is what helped us to create the course. As the CercleS project, it is a project that we designed, and we were lucky to get a grant in 2017. And the course is part of it. Like a part of this English course, we also created a British Sign Language course, because deaf and hard of hearing are usually only can learn spoken languages. But being able to learn a sign language, another foreign sign language, this is something new for them. So that was the chance to create an online course. We also did materials for teachers, and we did a research into motivation, study needs, and also how they view the sign language as a means of instruction. And we must have done something right along the way, because we won quite recently the European language label. Ooh. Okay. So this is what the course is titled. It's Online English for International Mobility. And this is just a course in a nutshell, like for you, a bit of pieces. And we already had 2 runs of this course, so we have some experience with it. This course is arranged around topics that mirror the different stages of going abroad. So it starts like when the students write to the international office and tells them, I have here in loss, I need this and this accommodations. Then, you know, like arranging to meet a buddy on airport, get to know them and other stuff. There is no fee to use the course, so you may have a look around. It's mounted on Open Moodle, and we're going to have it ready, I hope, in December for final publication, because in December it's when the project closes. And it contains a lot of authentic materials that we took directly from different universities, all the videos, promotions that they do, all the leaflets they send. And we also recorded a lecture to give like a really authentic feel. And it's based mostly on automatically corrected tasks, except for written assignments, which need to be corrected manually by the teacher. All right, Jitka.
Take over. Hopefully, in the end of this presentation, we will have a chance to open the course for you online so that you have an idea what it looks like. But now, a bit of theory. We just want to make it clear what we actually based, what kind of beliefs and views we based the course on. It's the beliefs of language, or views of language, and the views of learning. First of all, is the functional view of language, where the getting the information across is the center, and being able to get the information that one needs. It's also the view that language is socially constructed, so it actually differs based on the situation and in the environment. This is actually an issue that we feel after the experience, having the experience with deaf and hard of hearing students, that it's quite important for this particular group. We also adopted the deductive approach to teaching and learning, which again, based on the experience that we share, not only the 2 of us, but in the center, but also based on research, this seems to be the approach that's more beneficial to this particular group of students, but not only to this group of students. As Skian says, the deductive approach seems to be the one which is like generally. It helps to even out the individual differences in the classes, and it benefits all the aptitude profiles. We also see the errors as the stepping stones towards the end. I think that's quite clear, and I'm pretty sure we share that view. And we also believe in teaching that's opening the door to autonomy, that we just heard from Lenka, and I don't think I need to repeat this because this was the part of the presentation before us. We view the autonomy mostly as taking over responsibility, but but this is something that Lenka said actually as well. The important feature is that it's a capacity that every learner possesses, but it needs to be developed. Mm-hmm. And I think that was like, if I step away from this presentation, this was like, now with all the distant learning, this is the biggest issue, right? Mm-hmm. We expect the learners to be able to study on their own, but it doesn't come like that. And I selected a few of the features of autonomous learner, the ones that we tried to develop in the course, or focus on in the course. And apart from the obvious one, I also found in some of the definitions of autonomy the socially responsible part, which I really like, meaning that the learner is able to work independently, but also work in a team when it's necessary or when it's the time. And this is also something that, that we focus on in this presentation. On the other hand, deaf learners are often described, or in the old research overviews, are described as dependent learners. This maybe stems from the fact that from very early on, the deaf and hard of hearing kids are actually overly rely very much on adults and on their environment, on the to get the information that they need. They are very, very dependent. And also, it seems that the teachers of, the educators of deaf and hard of hearing learners tend to, based on their own beliefs, teaching beliefs, have very structured courses, very explicit learning, which doesn't really help creating the autonomy or developing autonomy. On the other hand, this is important for us as teachers here at the university, student autonomy is quoted as one of the key factor that influences the general success in education. And the course that we created was an online course, so here I'm moving to the online environment. And I just found, I used this quote because I think it kind of covers what I would say generally about online courses. It gives the space for the learners to use their learning styles, to use their own pace if they know how to do it, if they learn how to do it. So this is generally. Also what I highlighted is the unlimited internet resources that's available straight away there if you're sitting at a computer, and it gives you the ability to adjust the input in the way that's useful to you. And this is the more particular, the previous slide was the general, what we can say about every online course. This is what we tried to focus on in our course. So just examples of the activities are how we tried to support the development of autonomy. Autonomous learner is an active learner. To be active, you need to be motivated. And we all know from all the theories that we have studied that one of the ways to support motivation, internal motivation, is the use of meaningful and relevant language. And this is what we tried to focus on as much as we could. Also, the course offers a safe and supportive environment because it's a close group of students who share the same background and share the same problems often. And again, another way to support motivation is setting up challenging but tangible goals. And in this course, this was in a way easier because it's a course that should prepare you for your study abroad. So you have a very clear goal, or the students have a very clear goal. Also, an active learner is a strategic learner, and we included study tips in every unit of the course, which is an explicit strategy instruction moment. And this is something that we found very, very important especially for this group of students, even though it may be more general. And but maybe the self-reflection I'd like to mention. There's also we try to involve the students in assessing themselves, reflecting over their learning. So we ask them to actually say how they think they have developed in whether they progressed in their writing, for example, and try to say what the problematic areas are, what they want to focus on in the next step. As Lenka said before, a big part of the course is self-corrected exercises, which Moodle enables. But if a teacher wants to use this course, then there's this aspect where they use the written assignments, which they correct or give hints to the students how to correct them for the next resubmission. And there's also the reflection that's also that the teacher needs to help the students with. And I mentioned the social aspect to autonomy, and this is actually the biggest problem in online learning, is the lack of interaction. So these are the ways how we tried to overcome the problem. We included forum discussions, which must not be directed by the teacher. It's a space for the students where they share their personal experiences. So again, this would be very relevant to them and hopefully actually support them to take part. There are group work activities. There are even activities which include live chat, where our students set up a particular time and date when they meet in pairs at a platform, and they chat and they try to complete an exercise together. Right. Over to you.
Thank you. So we already had 2 runs. One took place last autumn and the other one in autumn 2018. So we can compare a bit both these runs. In terms of a number of participants, they were pretty much the same. Also, the assessment was the same. It was continuous. It was like completing the task. There is no end of core test. There's just a feedback questionnaire because we are interested in knowing.
Maybe I would just like to add that the participants, there was an international group, which was a great opportunity for the deaf students. This is not very often that they have an opportunity to actually meet other deaf and hard of hearing students from other countries to learn English together. So this was quite special to the course.
Yeah, that's a good note. Well, but still, in terms of content, number of participants, assessment, the course was pretty much the same because we made only very small changes from the first to second run. And the biggest difference lied precisely in the involvement, engagement of students in the different activities and the way they approached it. So we were thinking what the factors could be, what we can do with this fact, because we were thinking whether we need to change something because it didn't work in second run, but it worked in the first one, and what to do with it.
Maybe if I can, Lenka, I would just give an example. What you mean is that actually in the first run, students seem to be much more involved. They loved the fora, they did the group work. This is the part of the course where we saw a lot of activity in the first run, and we were very happy about it. And then in the second run, it actually worked very differently. So this is what.
The live chat in the first one, it was like the favorite activity. Everyone loved it, and they were really eager. And the conversation, we didn't even set the time how long it should be. Like it was up to them. If you managed to do it in 20 minutes, okay, you're done. But they spent like 2 hours doing it. So it was like, whoa. But in the second one, only very few students completed it. And then you think, it's the same chat, it's the same instruction, it's the same thing. What's different? But we should consider that we cannot influence everything, and there are different forces inside of the classroom that take place on their own, and you cannot influence them. And you simply witness. Yeah? So you create the chances, you create the environment, and then things happen. Especially in a classroom of a lot of deaf students who have very different communication systems, not only oral, signed, and they have different motivation, different experiences with e-learning. Maybe they have none, and also the level of their autonomy is very different. So. And it must be said that building like a nice cohesive online classroom is much more challenging than even taking a class to a cafe and having a coffee. This is a great thing, but this is difficult to achieve, such a nice atmosphere, warm atmosphere, in an online classroom. And sometimes in run 1 we achieved it, and in run 1, second run, it was not so successful. So again, people have different working styles, and while someone loves to work the very deadline, just a couple of minutes they send it. of course, they cannot expect that a lot of people are going to react on the very last minute post. So on one thing that really helps, the students can work the way they like to work, but again,
this leads to a particular classroom
situation.
dynamics and situation.
Situation. So this is it.
Right.
And that's probably what I wanted to say, that we do not consider it as a fail. We just think that it is a classroom situation that was built with this particular run, and we need to wait for more students.
I wanted to change it over to the...
Well, the girl said it was easy to change.
I don't know, maybe here, maybe here. No.
Oh, maybe if we try one of these windows down here.
Because we wanted to...
Maybe one of those.
It's this window. No. Well, I'm not sure. So if you have any questions, maybe the student helper will realize that we have a problem and come. But if you have any questions about the course or about the presentation,
feel free.
Can I ask, you were speaking about this self-reflection and self-assessment. Could you give us a bit more details, like how exactly do you do that? Is it spoken reflection? Does it happen or does it happen in a written form?
It's in a written form. Yeah, the students are simply halfway through the course, and at the end of the course, they're just asked a few questions, how they. What they feel was helping them, because this is actually concerns mainly the written task. We really try not to give them the answers, and there's always it's a 2 week. It's always a 2 week. Every unit has 2 weeks. So in the first week there's input, a bit of input on vocab, grammar on the particular topic. There are some self-corrected exercises. There's some reading or video or whatever. And then there's a writing task always. And then the teacher corrects the task, but not in a way to give the students all the answers, but rather showing, here's a problem, article missing, something like that.
Yeah,
and then they are supposed to resubmit in the second week. And we were then asking them whether this is helping them, in which areas they feel they actually progressed. And this way they were asked to reflect, and they send us the answers, and then we tried to react to these answers, saying it's a good way that you're thinking about it, or I don't know. We did our best to react to whatever the students wrote. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? I'm not sure if I am able to express it well, but for the deaf students or hard of hearing students, their L1 is visual and manual sign language. How do you deal with the difference between English as a foreign language with full aspects of communication and their mother tongue, or L1?
Yeah, that's the thing. First of all, not everyone has a sign language as a mother tongue, but there are those who have. And now you can imagine that this creates a situation that the students build on their L1 foundation, and they take them into this English. And also, like usually, this is difficult for them because Czech is already the first foreign language, then it's English, and then if they want to learn any other, so there's one more language to learn for them.
But on the other hand, it's not so easy with the L1. I've been thinking about the theory quite a lot, and it's not so easy to say. Apart from the fact that some deaf learners don't live in a sign language environment, and then Czech is their first language, even if that's not perfect. But even if they live in the sign language environment, then the sign language is their L1 for communication, but it doesn't have a written form, so it wouldn't be the L1 in reading. The reading, they always learn to read.
Every deaf student is a proper world.
Yeah, a world on its own. Yeah.
So it's this is the problem to overcome, obviously. And but when we come as English teachers, it's always going to be after the Czech teacher, or this is also problematic, but because often they are not actually. They're not taught Czech as a foreign language. They're
Yeah, they are just
they're taught it in the same way as the hearings pupils are, and then they like the metalinguistic knowledge. They don't have the words or the how to think about the language, how to that are the things that come into question. So here's the course. We just wanted to show one unit. There's this is the input. It's some kind of an authentic material, right? It's a questionnaire that's sent to the
students,
special needs students from Hong Kong University or something. Here are some vocab exercises. Then there's the discussion, and here's the study tip, for example, where this is the dictionary, the very basic study tip. It holds true for many hearing students as well, but they still don't know how to use the dictionary well, but it definitely holds true for deaf and hard of hearing students. And then there's somewhere is the written assignment here. So based on what they have, the input that they had, they actually need to write an email, and then there's an input about what a formal email looks like, the classic. And then the second week, there's some revision and the resubmission based on the teacher's notes.
And with as you said, this is open, so anyone, anywhere could take part. But I suppose you can control who's submitting writing activities, so you're not marking the world's writing activities. You have group settings or something like this.
It's the same as in the classic Moodle, and it's going to be offered open, so even students themselves can take it, but then they won't have the chance to have the written assignment repeat.
They need to find a tutor or someone. Lucky. Even hearing students can use the course, but then again, they might be stricken with certain areas, like study accommodation. What is that? All right. Thank you.